Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mornings with ArchyFantasies. It is morning. I don't know why that's important to anyone except that, like, I'm awake. But I wanted to talk about one more thing about this new show that I just watched last night. Again, if you follow this channel, you probably have already seen the review. It's a long one, and you've probably also already seen my rambling rants, I guess, about the use of paranormal in the title of the show. There's no paranormal in the show, but they definitely used it for the title of the show and the episode. So we are still discussing Unexplored and Unexplained, or Unexplained and Unexplored, Episode 1, Ghost Ship of the Damned. And, like, the final thing I really wanted to discuss about the show, now that I've had time to process it, because that's a lot to watch. Anyway, somebody, and I'm pretty sure it was Jason Colavito, and if it wasn't Jason Colavito, I apologize. Please let me know who you are, and I will credit this quote to you properly. But the quote about the show was that this is a... What is it? Unexplored and Unexplained is a low-budget, poorly researched version of America Unearthed. And it's, that's pretty dead on. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean, it is a mean quote, but I've watched the first episode, and yeah, it follows the same format as the America Unearthed TV series. Like, when I say it follows the format, I mean, like, it does the intro the exact same way. It does the introduction of the characters the exact same way. It does the introduction of the topic and the movement of the topic through the show. Like, the segments of the show are identical to America Unearthed. Like, other than there are two guys and they're, you know, other than that, and they're not constantly, you know, going on about Templars every 5 seconds, you would think this was an America Unearthed episode. And to the point of the very first episode being about this ghost ship of the damned. And what I find... So when I was watching the show, I kept going, man, this is really familiar. And I apologize, my cats. I got nothing. I can't control them. But the whole time I'm watching this episode, I'm like, man, this sounds really familiar. And then the petroglyph popped up, and I'm like, dude, what is... I know this petroglyph. I do. And I couldn't find it, like, while I was watching the show. There's a segment where I'm, like, flipping through Fetter's books, and I didn't find it. And that's not a slam on him. That was me, really. My brain just was not firing on all cylinders. But stop! You are lucky you're cute. But the more the show went on, and then after the show, I got to thinking about it, and I don't remember why. Oh, I was looking for the front art that I do when I do a review of America Unearthed, because I did watch all of those as well. And and I go to this website. Really? And I go to this website to make clip art, basically pictures and stuff for my videos, which is why they all kind of look the same. But anyway, the point being, while I was doing that, I wanted to go see what my format was I wanted to go see what my format of it was so that I had kind of like a matching thing going on. And the very first episode of season 4, which is the most recent season of America Unearthed, it's the relaunch of the show on a new channel, came out this year. The very first episode was Viking ships in the desert. And I was like, wait. So I actually went back through my notes, and Scott Walter, on the first episode of the 4th season of his show, again, launched this year, he is talking about the exact same thing that these guys are talking about on their first episode. And Walter is connecting the dots to Norse Vikings and I think Templars. And he's talking about Cortez's Sea and this lake that they go to. And I think he even puts the same petroglyph up in his first episode of season 4, as these guys do in their episode. So, like, it's the same episode. Like, it's hard to argue with that quote when they're using the same format, they're using the same kind of, like, musical cues, they're using the same segment breakdown, they're using the same tone, the guys even kind of dress like him, and then the very first episode is the same freaking topic. They're just, instead of it being Norse, Viking, Templar, Celtic, whatever Scott said, I didn't go back and rewatch it, they had decided that this time it's a Spanish pirate ship full of gold that is missing. Like, that's the only thing that changed was what it is actually supposed to be. But otherwise, it's the same evidence. It's the same petroglyph. It's the same area. Like, I was just really kind of, I don't know, the moment that it clicked, I was just kind of like, ow, well, you know, that kind of really, like, I want to feel like that that quote is just being mean for meanness sake, but it's actually accurate. Like, it's not even mean accurate, it's like factually accurate. So that was just the thing I wanted to talk about, was like, it's just a ripoff. It's a ripoff version of America Unearthed, and instead of having one dude, there's two. And I don't know, I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of other episodes I haven't gotten to yet. This is just the first episode, so I'm not even sure if they start going down the Templar rabbit hole, but they're certainly, like, rehashing the same topics as America Unearthed. And I know, like, one of the later episodes is the investigation into Lewis Meriwether's murder / possible suicide / conspiracy death, which I also know is something that Scott Walter has covered in America Unearthed, because I remember watching the episode. So they're just reusing America Unearthed topics for their own show. And I mean, I'll try to do some more one-on-one comparison as we go through the season, because like I said, there's only 6 or 8 episodes. I'm not going to rewatch stuff much. I might skip through my old videos real quick, but I'm not going to sit down and, like, hardcore rewatch things. But I will link episodes as I can, because I don't know, it's just kind of, are we at that point now where there's just all of the topics have been talked about and there's just nothing new? And so now, very much like Ancient Aliens, pseudo-archaeology shows are just going to start rehashing and double downing on topics that they've already kind of beat to death. I I think that's a good thing for us archaeologically, because it shows that there's not really, like, pseudo-archaeology doesn't develop, it doesn't progress, it just kind of rehashes, as opposed to actual archaeology, which has new discoveries, new interpretations, new theory, it grows, it evolves. Pseudo-archaeology doesn't, because they're working with the same material over and over and over again with nothing new coming in to enhance what they have. Whereas archaeology, like, that's what we do. We go and look at new things and see how those things do or don't fit into the current theories that we have, and, you know, adjust accordingly. And that's why archaeology changes so much, and pseudo-archaeology doesn't. So I guess that's good that they're doing this, because people are going to start seeing that all of these shows are just repeats of each other, and maybe people will start getting bored of that, and it'll stop being a popular topic simply because it gets boring. Like, if you keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, it's going to eventually be dull, and people don't want to watch it. So, you know, knock on wood, maybe. But until then, I have to suffer through this crap. So yeah, I'm gonna keep watching the show. I'm gonna keep trying to see the one-to-one comparison between this show and America Unearthed, and it's gonna be really interesting to me. I probably should learn some history behind the production companies and the script companies or whatever, and see if, like, maybe it's just like the same company and they're just passing their script down the line or something. I don't know. So look for more discussion on not necessarily the show itself, but like the show as an amorphous concept. I'm using my big words. Anyway, thank you all for surviving through my rants and my cats destroying everything in the process, and I will talk to everyone later. Excuse me, I may need to go murder my cats. You done?